Facebook.
And if you see me looking down a lot, it's because I'm looking at my laptop to see all the comments and questions.
Looks like things are happening.
Ooh. But it's because I'm looking at my laptop to see all the comments and questions. Better mute that.
I better mute that on this one too. Ooh. Oh wow, it's delayed a second. That's interesting. Okay, I think
YouTube changed the way they're doing live streaming, so we're adjusting to it.
Why are we so tiny?
Why are we so tiny? I don't know. Bear with us. Bear with us.
How do you make it bigger? Joshua.
Well, hold on a second. Bear with us. We apologize for the technical problems that are delaying the start of this broadcast.
Well, I mean, we are broadcasting, but it's just, what is happening?
It's so crazy.
YouTube Live. Hey, Regina. YouTube Live. They
changed everything.
Yeah, they said, we're going to make this easier. We're going to
make it easier.
No. Okay. I stopped it because the only way you can adjust it is that. Oh. Okay, we're doing YouTube again, so it should.
I'm going to see in a second. I logged into YouTube on my account so I can see what they're seeing.
Okay. So. Yes. Now we're bigger.
Yes.
Woohoo! That's awesome. I'm so glad. I'm so glad it's working over on Facebook. Yeah, YouTube, we're figuring out the live thing. That's ridiculous. You have to have an encoder and all this other stuff. So I am going to be, oh my gosh, hi, look at all you guys here. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Tiny Freedom Theory. Awesome, awesome. So we got some questions on Facebook. So we are just going to go and start going down the list. Any questions we don't get to, we're going to copy and paste them into a note. So then next Q&A, we'll have a bunch of questions.
And we're going to try to be doing more of these live.
After Landon goes to bed.
After Landon goes to bed. But a lot of times the internet isn't good enough, in the places we are to do a live stream. So it's pretty good here, though, out in the middle of Colorado.
Yeah.
Colorado wilderness.
Yep. So I'm watching all your comments come in. Oh, this is so much fun. Hello, hello. We see New York, Rita. Oh, I see Vanessa. I see Susan, Wendy. Hi, Jeff, KJ, Craig. Hello, Ron. I see Millie and Tim. Camille, hello. My goodness, Nancy. Trying to get everybody. Hello, hello. So let's go ahead and jump into some of these questions. If things come up as we're going, let us know. I'm going to try, Josh is going to try to navigate both. You should just watch Facebook.
I'm going to watch both. I'm working side by side. I'll do my best.
Josh is going to do his best. Oh, that's good to know that the video on Facebook is better.
That is good to know.
I love this wine cup. You can find it in our Amazon store. It's really nice. I like it a lot. I never have to worry about breaking them, and then it also won't tip over if you knock it, which is nice.
There we go.
Can you tell we're new at this? It has been so long since we've done a live.
It was a lot easier last time.
It was.
Okay. Want to jump into the questions?
Let's do it. What's the first one?
First one is... Bear with me. I got a lot of tabs open because I want to actually read it. Okay, so I want to read it, even though I know what it was. It was from KJ.
Carry on.
Working on it. Doing my best. It was about working while on the road.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That was a very good one.
Hi, Tina.
Okay. Nope, still loading. There we go. Oh, nope.
If it's glitchy here on YouTube, go ahead and head over to Facebook. We're just going to give this a go and see what happens. I'm going to see if I can change the...
Okay, I got them pulled up now.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with that. You're going to have to stop the live stream every time. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll just do what we can, and hopefully the video will be okay on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not, y'all may just want to hop over to Facebook, like Haley said.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, let's go ahead and go through these questions. First one was from KJ. Hi, KJ. He said, I have a question for Josh. How challenging has it been for you to be employed full-time while on the road? Not technology challenges, but personally, being in beautiful, amazing places, but still chained to a desk. Super, super challenging. But honestly, I think it's been more challenging for Kaylee than it has been for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I've been thinking about a lot while on paternity leave. And also, I have a lot of regrets over that. And Kaylee keeps telling me don't have regrets.
Yeah, we can't live like that.
No, we can't live like that. But basically, the situation with me was I wanted to do a really, really good job with my job so that they wouldn't take away the ability for me to work remotely so that we could live this lifestyle. But the problem is I was working so hard to be able to continue living the lifestyle that we're living that I wasn't able to live the lifestyle that we were trying to live. So it was really hard on Kaylee, and being on paternity leave has really opened my eyes to exactly how much that I was missing. I told Kaylee just the other day that this is the first time boondocking here in Colorado where I've just kind of looked outside and my focus has been outside, like, oh gosh, I want to be hiking those mountains, or I want to be, going on these hiking trails or kayaking or doing these things. And so it's been a big challenge, but it's something that I've made up my mind that when I come back from paternity leave, things are going to be different. I'm not going to be doing those long hours anymore. I've got a son now, and I've got a wife, and there's more important things in life than being chained to a desk. So great question.
Mm-hmm.
From Susan, she also said, let's chat about working while traveling, like building the freedom theory from scratch, technical challenges, editorial and posting challenges, the fun stuff.
Okay.
Take it away, Kaylee.
So this is kind of rolling into YouTube stuff, which I think we'll need to do a whole nother.
They're seeing a technical challenge right now. Sorry.
But building the freedom theory from the ground up. So it really started as a way to just give back because there were so many YouTubers when I started, and I just wanted to say, like, hey, here's another perspective. There wasn't a lot of women, especially young women, who were doing RV life YouTube videos and channels. So I took it upon myself to just be like, let's get a different voice out there into the interwebs. And so that's what it started as. Josh will always tell you that he came up with a freedom theory, but he's always pulling my leg. That's like an ongoing
She knows
joke.
I'm joking.
It still gets to me because I remember the moment I came up with the freedom theory.
I remember the moment you agreed.
Yeah, no. But building it from the ground up. So, yeah, just initially it started as just a way to have communication and also to just share what we were going through. And those of you who have been here from the beginning know it was really rough in the beginning, and things have still had, ebbs and flows, of course. But it's now turning more into a business, but it's nothing that sustains our lifestyle. There's people who, I think people look at YouTubers as making a ton of money, or they see that subscriber count and they think they must be making X amount of dollars a month. That's not really how it works. YouTube continues to move the bar to make any money as far as AdSense revenue, and that's putting creators in a tough position because, as any of you know who have touched video editing, it takes a lot of time. And basically when we're traveling, I have a camera, there's a GoPro. We have to be very strategic about capturing video when we go into a national park. It's like, Josh, you get this with the gimbal. We're going to talk about this. We have a storyline that we're developing. There's a ton behind the scenes, and it takes a lot of time. So since Josh has been on paternity leave, we've been able to focus a little bit more. But when he goes back to work, it's going to be harder because basically the only times we can vlog is after 5, after he's off of work. So when you see us playing around and stuff, that's on the weekends, and the weekly vlogs are working out really well for the family, but we want to be generating more content But there is this line we're always working towards where do we continue to rely on AdSense, or do we find other means of ways to make this sustainable? Because basically I wasn't paid for the first year and a half. I didn't make my first dollar for a year and a half with YouTube.
And now it's harder for new creators because now you have to have 1,000 subscribers before you can get paid. And, you know, they keep making it harder and harder, but we definitely didn't get into it for the money, certainly.
No.
But
if you looked at my hourly rate, I'm making
a nickel an hour, maybe.
I'm not making a lot. Yeah. So that's a whole nother conversation. I'd love to dive into that.
So I am going to do a little jumping back and forth here because we actually...
Craig, I see you.
We actually opened up, or we announced this on Facebook earlier for people to leave their questions. But I don't want to focus solely on those because I want to go back and forth with the people who are chatting and who didn't see that
so
post.
Thank you guys for keeping the chat going.
Thank you. So this one's from Craig. He says, Haley, I would love to know what you would consider the most significant things you did to grow your channel following. That's a good one.
I made a lot of videos.
I took my shirt off a few times and just showed my guns.
So the nature of YouTube has changed. It used to be very clickbaity, and I'm trying very hard to get away from that. But I think the biggest thing I did for the channel is decided that I was going to just vlog and vlog and vlog. I've made over 700 videos, if that gives you an idea. 700 videos. That's a lot of work. But I think what you have to focus on is community and just talking to the audience. And also, as much as I love you guys, you have to focus on content that you love. And we're generating right now content that we're really proud of. Even if it's not going to get as many views, you need to be passionate about it, because I've gotten burnt out plenty of times where I'm just like, this isn't worth it. I'm so tired. I can't keep up. Like, the bar keeps changing. I've just decided now that YouTube is my community and it is a place where I get to share my heart. And if people want to be a part of it, that's wonderful. But I'm not going to bend over backwards to meet the algorithm and try to con people into watching my videos. I'm just going to be us and be honest and enjoy the journey as much as we can, because Landon is our number one priority, and I feel like we've definitely made that shift over the last couple of weeks, and it's been really nice because we're working on creating a schedule and content that works for us. So don't try to be like someone else, just continue being you. Make as many videos as you can, but don't wear yourself out. Collabing is also a really big thing. So making other videos with other creators that are kind of like on your playing field, and then that's going to help boost your content as well.
Great question. So I'm going to hop back over to the Facebook post. We're just going to go back and forth.
Yeah.
So this one is from Beth. Hello, Beth. She said, our 12-year-old son would like to know what has been your favorite place to visit so far. I would also like to know, as Christians, how do you connect with a body of believers while on the road? I'll answer the second one first. Kaylee and I, for the first several years, really moved too fast to do that connection. You know, we would be in a community for maybe a week, and so maybe 2 weeks, and so there wasn't really opportunities to connect. Fortunately, we have people all over the nation who were great friends of ours and who are Christians that we can communicate with. It's something, though, that we thought about a lot with Landon. How do we make sure... Sorry, bear's barking. Hopefully he doesn't wake Landon up. But it's something that we've talked about a lot. You know, how do we raise Landon in a community of believers? And we haven't quite sorted that out yet, to be honest. So if you have any suggestions on that, please let us know.
And I'm going to add to that. The other thing that we haven't gone to like a building or anything like that is when Josh is working, we only have Saturday and Sunday to do anything in an area. So that's also been the hard part. But we hang out with... Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I did want to say, something that Kaylee and I have talked about since we started RVing is that we may create a community of believers for people who travel, kind of like an online community. So we haven't taken that on yet just because we don't have the time to, and we want to, be conscious of that and not start something we can't follow through with. But hopefully that's something that that we can do in the future. So Beth, I see you said that's something that's stopping you from going full time. So yeah, hit us up with a message. We'll chat about that some more. Maybe we can exchange ideas.
Wait, can I add one more thing?
Go for it.
So there was a lady on Instagram who was bringing this up about how it would be really neat, and she got a bunch of responses to get it can be people from all walks of life. It's not just Christian. We've got friends all over the spectrum. Love is super important to us, and that's the foundation of it. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But we think there's a way to mobilize people who are RVing and traveling to build a community in terms of giving back and like showing Christ's love that way. And like whether that's like volunteering or cleaning up BLM land or something like that, like getting together, doing something together, and then like sharing a meal together, or like doing a live Bible study or something like that. So that's that's
not something, certainly like Kaylee said, that would only be open to Christians. They're all about community. So to answer the other question, what's your favorite place to visit so far? That's a really
hard.
Really tough
I love
one.
Hawaii.
But that doesn't count as RVing, though.
I know, but that's like my favorite right now. That's a really hard question. You can tell him he's stumped us, because that's like, how do you choose just one?
I don't know. If you had to pick one, just first answer that comes to mind, go for
it. You're going to be surprised.
I don't think so.
Really?
Unless you said like Louisiana.
No. No, I really liked McCarthy, Alaska.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah, that was one of my favorite places.
Yeah. I love McCarthy, Alaska, and I loved New Orleans is always going to be up there, and then Santa Fe is going to be up there. Colorado is blowing it out of the park, but there's like so many places we're not going to get to go to because it's so crowded. So we're going to come back during the fall.
Yeah, I would say pretty much anywhere in Alaska, especially McCarthy. Probably the most memorable for me was going up north of the Arctic Circle, because that's something that I'd wanted to do my whole life. So as far as sheer beauty goes, there's more beautiful places we've been to. But as far as just like a huge check mark on my bucket list, going north of the Arctic would have been that.
Hopefully next summer. Did you say that? I was distracted.
Yeah, unless something drastic happens, we're going back to Alaska next summer.
You guys are the first to know.
That's
we're
right.
We're so excited. Hey, Mary. Yes, Hawaii is so amazing.
So let's hop.
This live stream is going to get more and more interesting. Stay tuned, guys.
So Brenda said, and by the way, I want to say real quick that Facebook has changed the way they show comments. It starts trying to sort them by most relevant. So I'm really trying to go through these in order.
This is what's so hard about social media. You learn it once, and then it's like it all changes.
So from Brenda, she said, hi there. When you went to Alaska, did you go through British Columbia? Do you plan on coming and traveling through Canada? I live in Calgary, Alberta. Well,
can you read that one more time?
I'm sorry, I said that kind of fast. So she said, hi there. When you went to Alaska, did you go up through British Columbia? Do you plan on coming and traveling through Canada? I live in Calgary, Alberta.
We want to travel all across Canada.
Yeah.
From west coast to east coast. I really want to go to Prince Edward Island, and
we are going to be very close to Calgary, unless, having a baby, there's always that caveat, unless. But sometime in August, we're planning on going to Banff, so we'll be very close to Calgary. Going to Alaska, we went up the Yukon and through British Columbia and the Yukon, and then we came down through also British Columbia, but down the Cassiar Highway. So like Haley said, one of our goals is to go all the way across west to east or east to west. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in Maine. I really wanted to, excuse me.
Bless you.
I really wanted to show her Prince Edward Island. Last summer when we did the East Coast, I was able to show her a little bit of New Brunswick. We went to Grand Falls and stuff. But we really want to do Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island. But we've been limited by internet access since I work. So also there are a few security issues there with my job. I would probably, because of the clearances required, if I was going to be working from another country, I'd have to get pre-clearance. And yeah, so it's just a hassle, but one day we want to do that trip.
Yolanda, I want to say we're praying for you. I'm so sorry for your loss. Oh, we're sending you big hugs. So someone, let's see, Andy asked, what was the biggest challenge full-timing while pregnant / postpartum? That is a really good question. So I'm going to answer that.
For me or for you?
You were along for the ride. While being pregnant, there wasn't that many challenges. If we would have been in our previous rig, we would have had some big challenges because getting out of bed would have been so difficult because basically our bedroom was just our king size bed. And this one, I was able to roll off the side and go to the restroom and stuff like that. But as far as being in the rig, it wasn't a problem being pregnant. I'd send Josh out for snacks just like any pregnant lady would do. But as far as postpartum, we were stationary most of the pregnancy, which was the best decision we made. And someone asked if we wanted to have more kids. The answer is yes. And I think the next time we get pregnant, we'll go somewhere warm where mom and dad are, hopefully. And then probably be stationary for at least the first 4 to 6 months because we kind of had this big ambition to be done in 3 months, but we also had the caveat if something was going on with Landon health-wise, we would stay in that area, and that's what we did. The problem with Louisiana was it got hot real fast, and it is like a zillion % humidity, and Landon hated it, and we couldn't stay cool enough in the RV. So that was some big challenges, but postpartum was super rough for me. I didn't struggle with postpartum depression, but I struggled, well, yes and no. It was up and down a lot.
Your thyroid medication had to be adjusted a lot.
Yeah, my thyroid was crazy. And I'm actually going to be starting another channel. I decided that I don't think the pregnancy stuff and baby stuff all belongs on the Freedom Theory. So I'm going to be starting another channel that you guys can watch out for, but I want to talk about like the birth story, the postpartum, Landon's lip and tongue tie, baby gadgets that have worked really well for us, like kind of minimalist baby things. But yeah, do you have anything to add to that?
Well, I think the biggest challenge while you were pregnant was healthcare. Because when she was pregnant, we found out you were pregnant in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And
Gettysburg.
So the first thing that we wanted to do was start getting her thyroid monitored and checked regularly, more regularly than it was. And then also, we needed to establish a pediatrician and, well, not a pediatrician then, but, midwife, OBGYN, and where were we going to have this baby? So that ended up being a big challenge. We actually tried to find like a midwife or OBGYN who would see her on the road, and none of them would do it. They all made
I could have lied, but I didn't feel right doing that.
Yeah, they all wanted to take her on as a patient and not just see her one time.
Which is understandable.
Her endocrinologist in Washington, who she loves and really trusts, said that it wouldn't be ethical for her to keep monitoring Kaylee while she was pregnant, which again is understandable. So it was very, very stressful to handle that. Eventually, we decided to have the baby in Louisiana.
Warmer.
Yeah, it didn't have all the rain and stuff. So we were able to establish a midwife there. We ended up flying down for Kaylee's first appointment. And, so that was a very stressful time. Hush, Bear. Hush.
Bear.
I would say that if you're planning on being pregnant on the road, if it's anywhere, in your future, just go ahead and have all those ducks lined up in a row ahead of time. Here.
I've got a lot of advice for how to handle that. I flew down to Louisiana 3 times. Three
Something
times.
like that.
Thank goodness for our travel points, which we need to do a travel hack video. But
yeah, because she was too nauseated when we came down from Maine to make the drive. She could only ride for about 2 hours.
I was so sick.
We had to get her to Massachusetts, fly her down, and then I brought the RV down on my own. We've got so many questions, though. Let's jump on to the next one. And then
having so much fun.
Me too. Okay, so back to Facebook now, right?
Sure.
That baby is adorable. Why? That's just kidding. That's not the question. He is adorable.
Because we're adorable, right?
Let's see. Julie said tips on growing a YouTube channel. That, I think we already touched on YouTube a little bit, so let's come back to that.
We're going to need to, maybe, in the next couple of days, I'll do a thing on YouTube because I got some things to say.
Yeah, it seems people are really interested in that.
We are going back to Alaska next summer.
So Tammy said, is it easy financially or do y'all have a budget? As I know traveling with the camper can get costly, but so worth it to adventure all over. That
depends on how you want to travel.
It's easy right now because of my job, but we would like to get to a place where I could quit my job. So then things will probably be very different. Still, though, we're pretty cheap. We don't like spending a lot of money.
We're not resort people. We're pretty basic when it comes to campgrounds. If it has full hookups and it's in the parking lot, we'll do that.
Yeah, Alaska, we boondocked almost all summer 2016. So bear with me. I'm gathering my thoughts. So 2015, the year we started, we did Thousand Trails mostly. 2016, the summer, we did Alaska. That winter, we did Thousand Trails and then boondocking.
Yeah.
Last summer was the most expensive one because we were doing the East Coast and there's almost no boondocking there, at least for a rig our size. And that was pretty expensive. We would go into areas and it might be, $500 for a week in tourist season to be in an area. That kind of sucked. Now that we're back out west, we're back to boondocking. So, if you want to do it on a budget, you totally can. I will say one thing about that, though. When we started RVing, we had this idea, and we found there were so many people online who were talking about how unbelievably cheap it was. It really doesn't work that way. And that's something that I wish more people had been honest about.
You can, but you're gonna sacrifice comforts when you do that.
Yeah, one thing we really relied a lot on was a blogger who talked about how you could, spend $200 a month for these monthly rates at RV parks. And we're like, that sounds great.
Dump.
Yeah, and then we started looking at those RV parks.
Sorry, I don't mean that to be judgy, but like the places that cost that much are, I don't know. I don't know if I want to be there long term.
No, for the most part, that's true. Unless you can get cheap rates if you're in the middle of nowhere, for sure.
That's true.
So it's a trade-off. If you want to do it cheaply, you certainly can, but I think you're better off planning to boondock a lot and save money that way than you are planning to get cheap rates at RV parks.
That's a good way to put it. Mary said, don't say cheap, say we're frugal.
Oh, there we go.
That's true. We're frugal-minded. Let me grab a question off of here. Mary said, I need to find a wonderful man that's rich, just a happy, strong-minded man to move to Florida because I'm in love with seashells. My advice for you is say a prayer. You can.
Worked for Kaylee.
It did work for me. This is a good one. Truly remarkable life. Our friends Craig and KJ asked, are you guys still using Thousand Trails a lot? Are you happy with that? Yes. So while being where we are, if you look at Thousand Trails map, it basically goes in a U around the U.S. And
U around the U.S.
The middle is very sparse. We have an RPI membership, but we haven't been as frugal, I would say. I mean, we have in a sense, but we haven't been looking for RPI and Thousand Trails. We've been looking at places we want to go. So that has been a little bit of a change in our travels. But we did roll into Thousand Trails after leaving Louisiana, and I'm like, we're home. It feels so good, like, to be back into like this routine of being back in Thousand Trails. Thousand Trails has, I think, is still a really great value, and we are still going to use it a ton. There's no doubt about that. We are planning to RV for a very long time. The parks are slowly being renovated. I do have a couple of gripes with them. One is that they started basically telling people who had converted buses that they were no longer welcome in Thousand Trails. That really bothered me. And they weren't sending a letter. They didn't give a call. They were telling the people in the parks that they had a certain amount of time before them. And it wasn't a long amount of time. So we had some friends that were impacted by this. And I thought that was super scummy. And I thought, if you're planning on cleaning house, you should clean out. It makes me angry. I'm trying to like rein it in. But my thing was, if you're trying to like clean house, they really need to clean up some of their long-term sites because some of the parks are so run down. Some people have 20,000 garden gnomes out in their lawn. Like, there should be a limit on garden gnomes.
Kaylee's had a little wine.
Oh my gosh. But if you've been into 1,000 Trails, you've seen that in some parks. And some parks are very old. Some parks were mobile home parks, and then they've turned into an RV park. So we still ultimately love 1,000 Trails. It's a great budget-friendly option.
We just didn't like that.
We didn't like that, and that's new, and we don't like what they did to our friends. So
now, on the flip side, something that's positive is last year they started what they're calling the 1,000 Trails collection, I think, and it adds more RV parks. Most of them are Encore parks, which are owned by the same company, but it opens them up for you to stay in them for up to 14 days at a time.
Yeah.
So I believe that's an extra 100 a year. That's the number that comes to mind. And that does open up quite a few more parks. So, yeah, you know, everything has its faults, but with 1,000 Trails, we always have a place to go to where if we just say, okay, we need to stop for a month, probably anywhere. Yeah, probably anywhere in the country we're going to be within, you know,
most
700 or 800 miles.
Hookups or a dump station that's like super close.
Yeah. So great question.
The Flippin' Travelers, they just started using 1,000 Trails and they agree. But they also say it's a really good budget-friendly option. They said they went to Yosemite Lakes, which has no cell phone service, but is a really pretty park.
Thank you, Susan. She said it's the Trails Collection, $199 a year. Thank you. So, this is, I'm looking at Facebook Live, and I don't think it's showing me all the comments.
Yeah, they're kind of slow. Someone says, someone wanted some tips on Maine. Maine is amazing. I really loved Maine. On our whole East Coast trip, Maine was my favorite. The coastal towns are beautiful. I can't remember all the places we stayed.
Well, the challenge with Maine is that a lot of the parks, you can't get bigger rigs into them. A lot of them, not the parks, but a lot of them are campgrounds, things like that. You know, they may have a max limit of like 25 feet. So what we did is basically got online and started looking up RV parks where we wanted to go and just calling them RV parks, campgrounds. The one thing that I would say is a lot of them are not even listed online. It can actually be really hard to find them. We said when I moved to Maine, it was in 1989, and we always said it was like stepping back in time 50 years, and it's still that way in some ways. And we found out that there were a lot of these RV parks and campgrounds that just had like no online presence. Like not on Yelp, not on Google. I mean, they seem to not exist. So we used, RV Parky, Yelp, Google, pretty much any place I could think of, and sometimes just use the phone, and if we called and they said, no, we can't take, a 36-foot fifth wheel, I'd say, well, who can in the area? So don't be afraid to pick up the phone and call, because you may find,
scrappy.
Yeah, you have to be frugal.
Yeah. Oh. Oh my gosh, Melinda, I love that question. So she asks, how do you manage not looking like a jerk when you have a remote full-time schedule and you have to tell everyone you can't slack off on a Tuesday afternoon even though you're not wearing pants? That's amazing.
That describes my life perfectly.
Yeah, I tell people, I say, you know what, we don't get fully dressed or coffee fueled till about noon. And when Josh is working, that's been so hard. I'm going to let Josh take that over, but it's rough.
Yeah, it's easier in areas where you don't know the people. When
We've been camping a lot with friends, though, and it can sometimes
friends tend to understand, because a lot of the friends we've made on the road are actually YouTubers or bloggers, things like that. So they definitely get it. But a lot of times when you're visiting, family and things like that, they just don't really understand that just because you're in the room working doesn't mean that you're available to talk and to chat. So, yeah, it can be a challenge, but that's life.
Yeah, I think
funny question.
It is funny, but I don't think anybody ever thinks you're a jerk. I mean, we all make a living on the road differently, right? We've got some things in the works that we're hoping can free up our schedule a little more. We don't know when, where, or how, but we've
got some irons in the fire that we're excited about.
That are heating slowly. Someone asked, do you caravan with family, friends, or fellow YouTubers? Yes, we actually are here with Outside is Calling. We were camping also with Outside, opting out of normal, and Hebert's Travels. We were all here camping, and so we're actually heading over to another location to go hang out with more people. So we do camp with people. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, camping with people who understand like a workflow is really, really nice. Someone asked, has Landed started?
Let's go back over to Facebook.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah, let's stay in order here. Okay, we will be, this is from Lance. We'll be full-time.
Like the camper company? No.
Yeah, hit us up, sponsorship. We'll be full-timing come October 1st. Where is the best place you found to beat the summer heat?
Colorado. Pacific Northwest. Maine.
Maine is good.
Canada.
Anything north is
Alaska.
Good. Yeah, anything anything north is good. But for us, we had already been to the Northeast. We've been to the Northwest a lot, so we decided to go up, which is working out pretty well for us. You get up to like Santa Fe, it might be low 80s. That's the way it was for us. Here in Colorado, we're at 9,200 feet right now, and it's like highs in the 70s. So
it's amazing. Up. So someone asked, has Landed started Solid Foods yet? No, he's only 4 months. So when he gets to 6 months, we'll start testing stuff out. And then Diane asked, are we going to get back up to Alaska with the baby? Yes, we're going to go back up this summer.
That is the plan.
Not this summer. I mean, 2019, next summer.
Yep. Quite a few people are going to be up there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Am I scrolling through these in the right order?
I'm thinking you need to go down.
You need to go down.
Hi, Trainwreck 1993. Let's see. It appears we switched seats. It's funny.
So let's see. Some of these questions are actually repeats. So I'm scrolling through them. Like we've already answered them, because somebody else asked it. So Let's go up. Aha, this is from Chantel. I believe that's how you would say it. Can you do a blog video in the future on mobile office and the specific challenges of working for corporate America, remote, full-time? Yes, 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 and yes. I think you'll like it when it comes out.
Internet. We're tied to 4G, and that's like one of the hardest things is we would love to like get off all the grids like for a while, but we can't. We've got to be wherever there's strong signal.
Yeah, so I've got a whole series I'm writing on that. Super excited. I think that you'll like it when it comes out.
I know someone asked about video editing and stuff like that. I think it was Veronica. So I'll do a little chat about that. Again, we're going to do a live stream dedicated fully to YouTube because I know that's like a really big topic. So I am a Windows user, a PC user. If you are a Mac, I would suggest using iMovie and starting from there. I started with Windows Movie Maker and started working my way up. I use a program called Filmora, Filmora, and you can look that up. It is a one-time purchased software, which is nice. I haven't gotten into Adobe like Premiere Pro because it's a pretty expensive membership, and I'm also just not ready to like learn a new platform. Maybe someday when I have time, which probably will be never now that I'm a mom, but Filmora does everything I need it to. I also have a camera that does like slow motion and things like that, which makes my editing a little bit easier. As far as like filming, Josh and I are actually, I'm teaching Josh and Josh is helping me learn how to teach because I've been set in my ways for so long. But so as far as cameras, I suggest you start with your cell phone and purchase a gimbal if you are really serious about it. The DJI Mobile Osmo 2 is a really good investment. It's $130 and it's just going to make all of your video look smooth and buttery, and that's what we've been using a lot actually. So it's a good investment and it's not super high, whereas if you decide that, oh, I don't want to make videos anymore, it's not a huge loss. I've gradually grown with cameras. My first camera I had was actually a webcam, and then I bought a Canon G7X, and then I'm now filming on the Canon G7X. We're filming on a Pixel 2, and then I also use a Panasonic GH4. And that's the Spectrum, and then also GoPro Hero 3 Plus. So my equipment is actually older on the Spectrum. I don't buy the latest and greatest equipment because I like to see how it functions first, and I think you need to view camera equipment as tools and also make sure they're all insured. So on our personal insurance plan, I have literally all of my camera equipment. I sold my old drone, which is a Phantom 3 standard, and we're planning on investing in a Spark.
Yeah, we've been trying to go simpler. So
especially with a baby.
Yeah, so we've been filming a lot, like Kaylee said, on my phone, which is a Pixel XL. It's got a really good camera, but it's still a phone. So if you look at a lot of the footage from our last couple of vlogs, those are actually done with my phone, and you wouldn't even know that it was a phone. But where you can really tell is if you're in a place where there's like, wind and tree branches are moving. Or we took some footage today that was really washed out. So, but that's a trade-off. I can be carrying Landon on my chest, and I can have the gimbal and my phone right there. And we're not
fast
swapping
and
cameras.
Quick. Yeah.
I don't know if you follow Duet Justice on YouTube, but
they're amazing. Their content's amazing.
I'm
gonna get you the link for the gimbal.
Yeah, last I heard, I'm not sure what they're doing right now for equipment, but when we met them, they were doing everything on the phone, which really just blew us away because you wouldn't know it.
Yeah, because their footage was like incredible. Yeah. I was like, wow.
And that was their vlogging, was the phone on a gimbal. I mean, so if you're wanting to start YouTubing or anything like that and you're worried about equipment, phones on cameras are really amazing. Don't worry about perfection. Just
You need,
get out there and do it.
my other advice is film 3 to 5 videos, completely edit them, but never put them online, because you need to get used to talking to a camera. It is a weird relationship, you and a camera. So I suggest learning how to talk to the camera. Talk as if you're talking to your mom or your best friend or whoever you're most comfortable around, and go from there, because my first videos are cringy, and I think you just need to, oh, thanks, babe. You just need to get used to talking to a camera. So that was really good advice that I had before I started my beauty channel. And I tell other people to do that as well, because, go ahead.
Oh, I was just thinking, I was going through our old pictures the other day
Uh-huh.
and found all of these just hundreds upon hundreds of selfies that Kaylee took when she was doing the beauty channel. I think I'll post some of them.
No!
What? They were beautiful.
Aww.
They were beautiful. This one's from Robert. He said, my wife and I want to full-time travel. We're thinking of getting a fifth wheel toy hauler to use as an office for our business. How hard is it with Thousand Trails to have good internet? So, unsolicited piece of advice to think about. The toy hauler garage is not insulated as well as the main living area. At least that's been the case with the ones we've looked at. So it's just something to keep in mind. You might be a little hotter in summer, colder in winter. Still, it's a great option. We almost signed the papers on a toy hauler. We want to have one day. So
We want to have a lot of different houses.
Yeah. So how hard is it with Thousand Trails to have good internet? Great question. We really recommend investing in a WeBoost. So, full disclosure, we have an affiliate program with WeBoost, or we're part of that affiliate program.
We've been using them since we got on the road, and they've served us super well.
I wanted to give that disclosure, but we use WeBoost because we're fans of their product. We love it. When we started, they were not making any products for RVs.
No.
And we actually took the Drive 4GX, which is their product for putting on your car. And what we did is we put it on a pizza pan and stuck the little...
Thanks to Technomadia, because they showed us that
was the tip of theirs.
Mm-hmm.
It had like a little 4-inch stub antenna, and we just went up, put it on a pizza pan, Gorilla taped, duct taped.
We lost a lot of pizza pans.
But that allowed us to do Alaska. That allowed us to do Thousand Trails that were 30 minutes out of a town. Mm-hmm. That alone opened up so many places for us. Then they came out with the Drive 4GX RV, which is around $400 right now, I think.
It's a powerful booster.
Yeah, and that one is very powerful, and it's designed to be mounted on the RV ladder, although you can do like we did and put it up a flagpole. The one they just came out with, and keep an eye on the channel because we're about to have a review on this one posted. It is more expensive. It's, I think, retailing for $630, but it's meant to be mounted up a pole. It comes with a 25-foot pole to mount, and it's actually very easy to do. And it's just incredible. I mean, the signal quality is unbelievable if you take the time to set it up right. Mm-hmm. So,
their customer service is amazing. Did he say that?
I was about to say that. So, we started using WeBoost long before they reached out to us to review products. So, if you're interested in their products, we can definitely give you, a discount code to use and get some percentage points off the purchase. The other thing, like Haley said, is their customer service is phenomenal. I mean, you call, I don't think I've ever had to wait on hold for them. And when I call, I never tell them that like we're reviewing products for them because their tech support people don't know that. And, I want them to treat me like I'm just a customer. The first problem we had before we were ever even working with them was when the power adapter went out on the WeBoost that we had and the lights wouldn't come on. And I called them and immediately there was none of this, back and forth, we'll try this, we'll power cycle this, we'll do this. It was immediately just like, that's probably the power adapter. We're going to send you another one. Where can we send it? I mean, that's the way their customer service is. If you call and they don't know the answer to a question, you immediately go to the next level. If you have to make a second call about an issue, you immediately go to the next level. So we're huge fans of their products.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah, and hey, Uncle Robert. So sorry for going on and on about it, but if you're going to need to be working on the road and internet access is critical, it'll be the best $630 you ever spent. So go for it.
We have heard some people say that they've had problems with WeBoost, that it didn't boost the signal. If you're in an area where there is zero signal, it will not work. You can't will a signal to be present. But like Josh said, if you're like 30 minutes away and they're in a kind of a straight line and not in a valley or with mountains around you, generally speaking, you can get a signal. So where were we? We were in the last place we were in, the signal was bad, and we put up the booster and beautiful signal.
Yeah, that's where I reviewed it. Yeah. So if there's a signal around, you'll probably be able to grab it. Yeah, I don't want to go on and on about it, but
the video is coming.
Yeah, there's two types of antennas you can use. One is omnidirectional, that just picks up everything around you. The other one is directional, which will allow you to really hone in where you want, to be picking up the signal from. So anyway, I could go on and on about it. I'm a geek. I love their products.
So Judy wants to know, how far in advance do we need to make reservations? We have been flying by the seat of our pants all summer, and it is biting us in the butt.
You don't need reservations on BLM land.
No.
Just show up. That's why we're doing it.
But our advice is, if you're going to camp on BLM land, show up on a Sunday afternoon when campers are leaving, because that works really well. But we're going to a campground or an RV park tomorrow, and they've got one spot just for Sunday night. So we're going to go there, do laundry and stuff, and then we're going to be going back to boondocking for a bit.
Yeah, what you find is that after Labor Day, from Labor Day until school lets out, things are pretty open. Anytime in that summer window from 1st of June on to Labor Day, you want to make reservations out as far as you can.
And Thousand Trails is also, like, when we were doing Thousand Trails, we could book 90 days in advance. So we would...
It's 180 if you're a collections or elite member.
180 days. So we could book out really, really, really far. I think if we're going to be in places with Thousand Trails, we'll start doing that and then start slowly adjusting things. But we change things almost on a daily, sometimes hourly basis. We're not very good with having things long term. It's like we kind of know we're going to be in a general area. Like, we'll be in Washington sometime in July.
This is a good one from Graceland. She said, since we had a baby on the road, we've increased our water and power usage boondocking. Have you noticed it as well? You do water, I'll do power.
Water, well, we haven't done laundry in a week, so we've got like stacks and stacks of laundry.
Just don't shower.
As far as water, yeah, if Landon gets sticky, then we've got to definitely use more water. As far as power, I think we probably run the generator a lot more than we used to without a baby. But then again, when you were working, we ran the generator a lot to power all your monitors and stuff. So it's hard to tell because he's on paternity leave right now.
Yeah, I don't think power issue has really been a problem for us. What we did is we invested in a second Honda 2000 watt generator. Mm-hmm. We already had one, but I invested in a second because I have this recurring nightmare of driving through Death Valley with my wife and baby and a 2000 watt generator and the truck breaking down and, not being able to run the AC and stuff.
So we have two running in parallel just in case.
And getting that second one is the best boondocking investment we ever made. When you combine the two of them, they hardly eat any fuel. They're so quiet, like we've got tent campers next door and they can't even hear them. So they use so little fuel and we just don't have to worry about it. So I'm ending up running them a lot. Just, why not? Just turn them on and let them go.
What we do is we keep them in the back of the truck, which is great because
Yeah.
then we're not lifting them in and out. And then at night we lock them in with the retract.
Yeah.
So the retracts. So.
Yeah, I set them up in the back of the truck where I could actually run them while we're hitched up without there being any risk of fumes or anything. So when Landon's ready for a break, we don't have to be sitting in the truck to give him one. I can just hop out of the truck, open up the RV, plug in the power to the generators and turn them on, and it's worked very well for us.
How come this looks different than that?
I'm telling you, it's the way they're sorting the comments. I'm not seeing them all.
What's up next?
Yeah.
That is so weird. What we see on the phone is different than what we're seeing on the laptop.
Yeah, I tried refreshing it, and I'm not seeing the latest comments on my computer.
Well, that's a bummer about YouTube.
What's that?
It's giving him the spinning circle of death.
Yeah.
We're going to have to figure out the YouTube scenario. It's unfortunate they've made this really challenging.
Keith says, where's that little man?
Sleeping.
I'm right here. Oh, Landon.
He's sleeping. Thanks, Mom.
So we've been doing this an hour. Do we want to do one more and then...
One more hour?
No, one more question.
I don't have that in me. I'm going to bed. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Any last minute questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments.
Julie said, can you elaborate on what you use for internet? Primarily cellular, because with work, through my job, we have true unlimited data with
no
slowdowns, no throttling, no limits or anything like that. So that's worked out pretty well for us. But, I can tell them. I'm writing an ebook on internet access on the road. Most of you guys probably know that I'm a network engineer, so I feel like I've got a little bit of a unique perspective. So, yeah, be watching for that to come out, and we'll go ahead and, release some chapters and stuff early on to give you guys a taste of what's
been
going to be happening.
working so hard on this, and yeah, it's going to be really, really good. It's going to be really good. I'm a little bit biased, but no, I really think the amount of work that he's putting into it, he's in the writing stages right now, and hopefully we'll have that out this fall. So
KVO said, OMG, yes, teach us how. I think that was a reply to Julie on, can you elaborate on what you use for internet? So, like I said, be watching. In a few days, you'll be able to go to thefreedomtheory.com/subscribe. I'm working on setting up that page, and you'll be able to subscribe and get notifications as I release some chapters with the ebook.
Oh, that's a question.
Yeah. So definitely we'll let you guys know once that's ready.
Coral wanted to know what happened to Rocky, our other fifth wheel. Our fifth wheel, do you want to explain that?
Yeah, our fifth wheel is doing search and rescue operations, disaster relief.
Yeah, Josh's cousin was impacted by Hurricane Harvey. And so, right, Harvey? Is that right?
Yeah, Harvey for Houston. I think that's
no, it goes by 8. It goes by ABCD. Okay.
Yeah, but that's how I remember it.
So they were impacted by the hurricane and lost their house. So we hadn't sold Rocky at that time, and we said, well, we have our fifth wheel. Would you like to use it? And so Josh drove from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and drove it to Beaumont, Texas for them to use it. And now they have decided to keep little old Rocky. So Rocky is in great hands. So thanks for asking that.
It was one of those things God just really worked out. We had been wanting to sell it, but all the potential buyers were in South Carolina and we couldn't show it to them. So we weren't quite sure what to do.
It really worked out.
Yeah, and they needed it. So It all came together.
Do you love your new home as much as you do your last? That's a good question. We love this way better. We love this one. We love having 3 slides. It's amazing. So we're really happy with that. And then there's another question that I missed. Why buy a 5th wheel? Really, it boils down to budget and how you want to travel. I view motorhomes as the travel mobile. You go to a spot for 2 to 3 days and then you're on to the next destination, because they're really easy to move because they've got wheels. A 5th wheel for us was just a more economical choice because motorhomes get really expensive really fast. We didn't have a toad that was reliable to tow with a motorhome. And then, they're just a more economical way to start RVing. And we do primarily slow travel, which we haven't been doing lately. But having a truck allows us to also look at options like a bumper pull down the road or a truck camper down the road. So our options are more flexible, whereas a motorhome, that's all you have. It works for a lot of people. For us, it just worked out for the truck and the truck and the 5th wheel.
Once you have that 4-wheel drive, it's kind of hard to give it up. For me, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the only other kind of motorhomes we've looked at are like Super Cs. And the one that I like, that's the only one that I've seen on the market like this, is a Host Super C. And a Host has basically it's a Chevy 3500 and it has 4 doors so that everybody has a seatbelt because motorhomes aren't crash tested. So I personally wouldn't feel comfortable with landing in a motorhome. That's unfortunate about the industry that none of those things are crash tested, and they also don't have the clips for a car seat in there. So a Host Super C would be one option. So yeah, that's 5th wheel for us, but I think if we were moving faster, maybe consider a motorhome for shorter trips, but right now we're looking more at truck campers for faster trips because we already have the engine with the truck.
Were you answering the question from Cassie? Is that the one?
No, I don't think so. There was another question. What was the one from Cassie?
Whoa, Facebook just caught up and went whoop, and Cassie's question disappeared.
Ay. Facebook.
Well, I think we're going to
sign off.
And what we'll do is we'll go through all of these questions and answer more of them in the future.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed this live stream. We'll do it more as internet permits.
And hopefully those of you watching on YouTube, we will make some adjustments to make this look cleaner in the future.
YouTube didn't have any way for us to test ahead of time.
And that's what's super frustrating because now we know that the resolution is bad and choppy.
Yeah, and to do it now, you have to be a YouTube partner.
We are a YouTube partner.
Right, but like I could create a YouTube channel that nobody knows about and go test it, but I can't because I'm not a partner. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, we appreciate all y'all hanging out. I'm going to go to bed. I've got a 5 o'clock in the morning wake up call. So
wake up when?
A wake up when? How old was your truck when you bought it? We bought a 2013. Dualies are crazy. We got a super good deal on our truck, though. It was insane.
Yeah, watch Facebook. So we're going to go back to these comments and we're going to reserve some of them for future videos, but some of these we've done vlogs in the past that really go great with some of these questions, like the one about the truck. So we'll do our best over the next couple of days.
But we want to answer all these because we know a lot of you guys are new to the Freedom Seeker team.
Well, no, what I was going to say, though, is that for some of these, we can reply with, like, the vlog so they can see more information.
Yeah. So, but yeah, dualies are outrageous. We really, really love our dually. Man, you guys got me going in all kinds of directions. We should probably hop off.
She's so cute after a glass of wine. And let me tell you about the dualies and the phones.
All of the things. But thank you guys for hanging out with us. This was super fun. We really want to do this more in the future. So we will keep an eye out on comments and questions on these on Facebook and on YouTube, and then maybe we'll be jumping on Instagram in the future too. So right now we figured 2 was enough to handle before jumping onto 3 different platforms. But thank you guys for watching. The vlog should be up either on Monday or Tuesday if things get delayed, but we love you guys, and thanks for hanging out. Josh will probably go through these comments because since he's on paternity leave, he's been getting more involved, which makes me so happy. So,
Some
yeah.
of these are going to make great blog posts.
Yeah, no, thank you guys. It really, really helps us out being able to see what you guys are interested in. I love that you guys are interested in some of the baby stuff. So I'm going to get that other channel rolling, you know, as soon as possible. So we will see you guys later. I don't even know how to get off of this.
So I think you would hit stop streaming there.
Okay. All
But we
right.
got to give our sign off.
Okay. Thanks for hanging out, guys. We love you. Don't forget to live simply
Dream differently
and find your freedom. We will see you guys next time.
Bye.